So last week we talked about DNA. We compared the library to the DNA helix. We talked about books being like genes, the A's, T's, C's, and G's being the code. We talked about how certain other genes are different parts in time of our life. Not only do you have different genes that turn on in different cells of your body to make enzymes or other things that your heart doesn't need what your brain needs. Your liver doesn't need what your skin needs. Like, they all have their different proteins that they need to be able to do their functions. But looking at this, like, this was turned on earlier in my life. But why do we care? Like, why do I even cover this at all? Like, why does it matter that I'm talking about genetics and genes at all to a bunch of high school kids? And the interesting thing is I think we should be talking about it before high school. I mean, I teach high school kids to talk about genetics, but it's almost like it's too late for some of them. See, interesting thing about epigenetics is that whenever you wrap something around a histone, like a remote controller, right, with a cord to lock it down, you could permanently glue the book closed. Almost. I mean, it's very hard to get open. And we know this because we've looked at diabetes in little small towns and the feast and famine and how it affected the children going up and in future generations. So it's your kids. I mean, that's really what it is. And I know you're not thinking about kids, and I didn't think about my kids before that. And I did a bunch of, thinking about it now. And it's almost like I locked down parts of my genome that I let them inherit that I didn't even know existed. And in that respect, it is our future that we're not thinking about. And it happens around puberty. Boys, most specifically, right before their testes descend. We don't understand genetics at that point in time, but you're pretty much controlling the future of who's going to grow up and become our, successors. I mean, at puberty, you're not really thinking about that. You're thinking about Mountain Dew and Doritos, but high fructose corn syrup can cause our bodies to react differently just as much as any other sugar to have diabetes. And by doing that, you could be locking down parts of your genome that can have drastic effects for your children. And we'll talk about females tomorrow and kind of leave it at that for right now. But it's important. I mean, it should be important.